G'day and welcome to the vlog number, I've lost count, I don't have a computer nearby, so bear with me now. Unusual, I'm outside, look at this, I'm actually testing a new camera. This is the SJ-Cam SJ7 Star, which was sent to me by Gearbest. They sent this to me to review, and that's what I'll be doing. I'm just having a bit of a quick play first. I thought, hey, why don't I just see how it works? So I thought I'd do the vlog in it, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm taking you for a walk around the airfield so you can see how the camera works as well. Now, but I'll be doing a full review on this camera shortly. Now, one thing I've noticed, it keeps going back to photo mode if you don't press record within a few seconds, which is kind of annoying. Hey, I think I'll take that. Piece of fuel tubing, the things you find when you do a walk around the airfield. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, of course, regulation as always, and there's some stuff coming up. But first of all, I want to tell you about something that's happening here in New Zealand. Now, probably three years ago, I spoke to CAA, which is the New Zealand airspace regulator, and they were complaining and bitching and moaning about all the risks associated with drones and FPV and things. And I said, well, look, you know, there are guys out there who want to fly higher than 400 feet, and who want to fly further than visual line of sight. I said, and I know there are a lot of people doing this already, doing it very safely, so what's your problem? And they said, it's illegal, you can't do it. So I said, well, look, why don't you set aside a piece of airspace, some nice remote area where there's no full-size air traffic, set aside some airspace, solely for the purpose of letting people get this ultra-high and ultra-far FPV thing out of their systems. At the time, CAA said, no, can't be done, we just can't do that. And I said, oh, what a shame, because that sounds to me like a really good idea, because most people, when they start FPV or start you know, the hobby, they want to do things. And I know when I started FPV, I wanted to go really high. So I did, but not in New Zealand, of course. This was international waters. And once I'd gone really high, I realized, my goodness, this is so boring. Everybody looks like ants, and there's really no value to going this high. So I got it out of my system, and now I have no desire to go high. Most of my FPV flights are a little more than 100 feet maximum, because I fly mini quads and I fly, you know, fast FPV planes. I like proximity. And the other thing is, everybody wants to fly beyond visual line of sight. So again, in international waters, I flew beyond visual line of sight, and I realized, well, it's all very well and good, but what a pain in the backside if you lose your model, if you crash or the gear fails or something happens. It's really not that great. And it's actually a hell of a lot more fun flying really close and dodging things like trees and buildings and small children and puppy dogs. So I got the long distance thing out of my system. And that's great, because everybody needs to do it. And if you want to keep things safe, as an airspace regulator should, then you need to set aside a piece of airspace where people can do this, away from towns and cities and planes and buildings and all the other things that could be endangered if people have an accident while they're doing this. But no, CAA said, we can't do it. It's impossible. Okay, fair enough, I thought. Well, guess what? Last week it was announced that there's now some restricted airspace set up at the North Island of New Zealand, in an area long way from anywhere, where people can go and fly beyond visual line of sight and above 400 feet. But only if they pay money. Apparently this airspace has been, well, management of this airspace has been given to a commercial operation to do this very thing. So does money talk? How come these guys were able to do it? But when I suggested it be done in the interests of safety, couldn't be done. But if it's being done in the interests of money, yeah, that's quite possible. I don't like that. I don't like any organisation that puts a price on safety, and CAA in New Zealand is one of the worst for this. At one stage they wanted to charge aviators for essential information, essential safety information. In fact, they still do, through a site in New Zealand called Airshare, which is kind of like an information source for people wanting to fly drones and models. They have a safety brochure, a safety leaflet, which really just contains the rules. And it's an ebook, and they want $35 for it. Are you kidding me? $35 for an essential document? No! If you want people to follow the rules, you don't sell them to them, you pay them to take them. It's crazy stuff. But no, this whole commercialization of safety seems to be the in thing, and if you can't make a buck out of safety, then they're not interested. It's like, well, if I had hair, I'd pull it out. But there you go. That's a little bit of a rant, isn't it? So that's one interesting thing. I'll put a link to that, the website for this restricted airspace, in the description of this video. You can go and have a look if you find it interesting. And I hope other countries do the same, but I wish they would set aside some airspace for recreational users who don't want to have to spend a fortune. After all, you've probably had to drive 300 or 400 kilometres to get to this place. Why should you then have to pay to use the airspace? And if it's about safety, there should be no price involved at all. Okay, something else I spotted now. I'm sure most of you will have seen the video, which was posted to YouTube and news sites around the world, where a drone collided with a guy on a bike, a racing bike, in a road race somewhere, street race with his pedal bike, and he fell over and crashed, and could have been quite dangerous. Terrible thing. Drones should be banned. I mean, they're knocking people off their push bikes. This is terrible stuff. But take a look at this, will you? And this, as you can see, they should also outlaw police motorcycles, because this police motorcycle bowled a whole lot of bike riders. So if you want to ban drones because they're not people off push bikes, you better ban motorbikes first, especially police ones. And if you look at the history of road cycling, there have been far more accidents caused by cars, motorcycles, and even spectators who walk out onto the path of oncoming racing bikes than has ever been caused by drones. I think we've had one, this is the one drone incident, but we've had hundreds, possibly thousands of other incidents involving pedestrians, motorcycles, and other vehicles. So yeah, you know people are going to bitch about it, but there's your response if they say that. Okay, I've got another channel for you this week, and the channel is a Canadian guy, Alan. He does vlogs. That's what he does. He flies drones, does vlogs, walks along the street, and airs his thoughts on things. He's got some good perspectives, and so I'll put a link to his channel in the description of this one if you want to go and have a look. If you like vlogs that talk about regulation, and I say he's from Canada, so he's got a lot to talk about, and you might find it interesting, you might not, but I thought I'd point you in that direction anyway. Okay, something else we're talking about, the rules in Australia now. As I've said on a number of occasions, the Australians have got their regulations not too bad. Quite a good balance between rights and responsibilities, and if you've got a sub 2 kg drone you can fly it with, the restrictions have been eased up dramatically for commercial use on sub 2 kg machine. Let me get that right. How am I drinking? Sub 2 kg machines. Now, what's happened over there is that they quite rightly and sensibly have recognised the fact that if your drone weighs less than 2 kgs, it's not going to be a really big threat to anyone. This has been verified by some recent tests, which I think I talked about in my last vlog, showing that if a drone falls on your head, it's not going to kill you. It's actually safer than having a piece of wood fall on your head. So there you go. But the interesting thing is that over in Australia, there's always some, isn't there? There's always people who breed with their sisters, and the offspring usually go into Parliament. And this seems to have happened because there's a congressional committee or something have looked into the risks of drones, and they've said, oh, we've got to change things, our regulations are way too lax. Look at all the people that have died, look at all the planes that have been knocked out of the sky, this can't go on. Yeah, but anyway, their proposal is that nobody be allowed to fly a drone until they've passed a safety course. It doesn't matter how heavy or light the drone is, you've got to pass the safety course. And all drones must be registered, because this will improve the safety. This will reduce the number of people being killed. It will reduce the number of aircraft being knocked out of the sky by drones in Australia. It's a really good idea, isn't it? As I said, when people breed with their siblings, the result is politicians. And this is what you seem to have in Australia. Now, this is a report going to the Congress, I think. It's going to be, well, senators, I can't remember what it is in Australia anyway, it's, you know, the Parliament, whatever. And so I think they're going to look at this. Hopefully they'll just see it for what it is, because I noticed in a lot of the reports, the people behind this are commercial operators who rely on full-size aircraft and pilots to do the work. One of them, I think, I'll put a link to a story that I found if I can find the link again. And one of the key players is the head of a aerial photography business that uses helicopters. So of course they're saying these things are too dangerous. These things will kill us, because they'll deprive us of our income and we'll die of starvation probably, but they certainly won't kill us by flying into us. But there you go, this is the things we have to deal with when we're trying to avoid the hysteria. You know, again, it's more hysteria, absolute hysteria from these people. And unfortunately politicians are a bit stupid, as I say, and they listen to this hysteria and go, oh, we've got to do something, we've got to be seen to be doing something, even if it's the wrong thing. It's better than doing nothing. There you go. So that's the Australian situation. I gather there's another state in America which is doing something pretty similar. It's like, oh, where do these clowns come from? Honestly, it's, oh, I don't know, I despair, I really do. Oh, it's bad news. But if you've heard of stories like this, let me know. People have been sending me links to some of this stuff, and it's really, really useful, because then I can keep you informed and you'll know what's going on. This camera's getting warm in my hand. My hand's getting warm, which is good because it's a cold day today. As you can see around, it's like murky, murky grey. It's not even winter yet, and I've got my jacket on. It's freezing cold. I think we could be in for a very cold winter, unfortunately, which is great because it matches our cold and wet summer. But, oh well, there we go. Can't complain. It's only weather. Nothing you can do about it. But this has been a great test of the SJ7 Star from SJ Cam, I suppose. So if you see this footage, I will think it is satisfactory. If not, well, you never know it even happened, did you? So that's it. Quick vlog today. Nothing else to talk about. Because my arm's getting tired holding up this massively heavy camera. It actually has an aluminum body. It's not a plastic one. It's got an aluminum body. It's quite good. So stay tuned for that review. I also have a couple of other reviews coming up. Who's been doing damn wheelies on the grass here? A couple of other reviews coming up this week. Maybe not flight reviews with this weather, but I will be talking on RC model reviews about flying wings. How do they fly? Why do they fly? What makes them wobble? And if you want to design one, what would you do? So stay tuned for that, and hopefully you'll find it useful. Right, so that's it. That's another vlog. And I say, I don't remember the number. Is it 7, 8? I don't know. But there's a plane coming. Woohoo! How about that? But there you go. That's another vlog for another time. And let me know what you think of this camera. You think it's any good? I will be doing a full review on my RC Model Reviews channel, so you will get to see what I think of it. And don't forget, of course, we've got the tower thing going on here. Let me turn this camera around. I don't know where the microphone is, so I've probably covered up all the stuff. Oh, the screen's just gone off. Is the battery gone flat? Is it still going? It's still going. Oh, there you go. You got to bang the thing. So there's the tower. Hopefully you can still hear me. They have said that we need to get an engineer's report, and maybe we can fix it up, maybe we can't. Oh, I don't know. But stay tuned, there'll be more coming on that. And as I say, there's the airfield for you all to see, and its wonderful gloriness. That plane, what's it doing? Probably can't see it on here. This is a 4K camera, but I'm recording in 1080p at the moment because I don't have any 4K editing yet. I'll have to do that this week. Update my software so I can edit in 4K. And when I do, you'll see what it looks like. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Okay, here we go. We're driving in the truck. Woohoo! And the reason I got the camera going in here is I want to show you what's happening down the road. They're knocking out some trees. These pine trees you can see in the far distance are a noise break that was actually planted to protect local suburbs from the noise of the airfield and the motorcycle track and the go-karts, which we've all seen operating here now. They've decided to knock them all out in one fell swoop. That's right, they're not actually going to just, excuse me while the screen goes, I don't want to see what I'm looking at. They're not going to progressively fell them and replant them. They're going to take them all out at once, which is kind of a stupid thing to do, because we're going to get complaints from the suburbs just adjacent to the airfield about the dirt bikes and the go-karts and any other noise out here. I've told the council this, they've said, no, not a problem. Yeah, right. But here we go. Now, there's some people here who are directing the traffic. Oh no, they've gone. They've gone home for the day. There was some little men here with little signs. Gosh, they knock off early. It's only 3:30. Oh no, there's some down here, but they don't seem to be managing the traffic anymore. They were managing the traffic before, but now they're not. So one minute it's not safe to drive down here, next minute it is. I don't know what's going on there, but as you can see, they are felling all these trees, supposedly because they want the money. Again, it's money. It's all money, isn't it? And here are the guys that are supposed to be directing the traffic, parked in the middle of the bloody road so no one can get past. What the hell's going on, guys? Try and sneak past. Here we go. Right, let's see into that. God, I don't know. They have 2 people working full time just directing the negligible amount of traffic, and when I pulled up earlier today on my way out here, one of them was asleep. I had to wait for 10 minutes till he woke up. Unbelievable. Anyway, this is the local school I have to take care here. I don't want to go bowling in any little children's. And so I will turn the camera off and return you to your normal programming.